The year is 1405. The Laham archipelago is living a time of unrest. The war between Saria and Ingatu is raging. The defection of Commodore Henry Morgan led to the assassination of Queen Rada Hingeri. King Henry IV, filled with hatred and pain for the loss of his wife, started to call upon every available sailor to join the war and retaliate against the enemy. In the middle of the archipelago, Aegeus finally declared his independence and now is looking to build a strong nation. On the other side, the end of the War of the Coin left the Republic of Calgary in desperate need, and Fredegar seems willing to help in exchange for territory and resources. But a new religious movement is slowly building inside of this old kingdom, threatening to break it apart. In the south desert nation of Aegyptos, a civil war is threatening the commercial alliance with Obolua. If the leaders of those oligarchic nations do not put a stop to this madness, there will be no commerce in the future. Welcome. I'm Hunter Storyteller David, and this is Tales of the Forgotten Seas. A brand new show that explores the lives of a group of fantastic characters involving the vicious and complex stories that I created. Are they some swaggering anti-heroes? Strange, fascinating one? Maybe some social revolutionaries? Set sail with us in this fantastic world and discover the true meaning of adventure. Hello everyone! Welcome back to another episode of Tales of the Forgotten Sea, and today we have a little bit of change and things that we need to discuss about. So, first of all, as many times I've said, this is a brand new tabletop roleplay game that we are playtesting in front of you. And speaking of that, we had some changes. Recently, we started to notice that some of the people did have the right attitude but not the right skill. They were going towards something a little bit different. They felt they were not good enough in combat or other things like that. So we started to reshape things and etc. And we got the opportunity to establish a new set of skills. Most of them are the same, so don't worry. And we established a new way to actually see them on the character sheets. Character sheets that for now is not public yet, but will be. And taking this chance, I gave my players all the right points for the hand of adventure, giving them that little boost in order to face the enemies. A little bit more powerful, with a little bit more skill. Let's hear from them and see what they got. So, Riska, we started with you with a little bit of a thief and a little bit of a alchemist, a mutagenist, you said. But now also getting into a little bit more of your background, what else you got?
I picked up a new profession. I'm a swashbuckler now, in addition to all the rest. I can shoot them guns.
Shooting games,
What?
fencing, and other things like this. And
Yes.
immediately after you, we go to ask Amber what he got. Because we know about his bombing and other things like this, but
I wanted to focus a bit more in the bomb making aspect of the character. So now I'm sure that I don't need to piss off Riska every second session. Follow him around, asking him to make me bombs. I can do it myself.
Mhm.
But the main thing is that I heavily focused on the Beastmaster profession that I had put it completely aside at the beginning, and now I got 3 levels on it, and now the Dutch will come.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
Absolutely. Yes, we have a very good spec for animal handling and persuasion and other things like this. Very good, very good. You are not the only one that had changes, and one of them is Hazel. And what you got? Because we know you as a bodyguard, but you also have are now something else, are you?
Yep. I decided that since I was so in touch with nature, I would take a new profession, which is a natural warrior. Specifically, I took the defender of the wild, so now I have some more things about, moving around nature and
Survival, nature, and
survival, recognizing some things. I also upgraded my magic.
Mhm.
We should mention that. And as we all remember from the previous session, I am fatwas touched,
Yeah.
which means that
You started.
I have some extra perks.
Yeah, you have started a little bit of a connection with what's is behind the veil, what is lurk, sometimes in the shadow, sometimes just under the hills. And last but not least, we have Jean. We are not sure yet what about his name, but please, Alex.
So I mixed things up a bit with my character. I'm still a performer, but then an actor. But now, instead of being like a fighter with my rapier, I'm a refined combatant. I picked up a new archetype and two new professions, the Dark Blade and the Butler Duelist. I now fight with a rapier and butler. I am much better at dodging stuff and attacking stuff, but I'm more of a stealthy character. I'm not that much of a riposte character anymore. I hide better and I do better acrobatics around.
As you said it, it sounded like you fight with a butler, and that would be so much more.
The butler. I ask my butler to come and
Yeah.
fight with me. No,
Please,
butler.
Well,
Geoffrey, go
the
attack me.
Baroness does have a butler, so maybe
Yeah,
I
the
can steal
Baroness
the
have
butler
that.
from the Baroness.
She definitely has someone that's fighting with her for her sometimes. No, in this case, a buckler duelist. So it is an expertise between using the rounded shield, short rounded shield, and a rapier as well that can be useful. So sword and shield kind of style, but with a refined technique. So there you have it. We have this a little bit round of new expertise and new things. We still have the same character, but with a little bit more specialization, I would say. More refined, and more we got along with adventure and all the things that happen with them, they can always improve. And speaking of improvement, we got a little bit of information here and there. So, last we left off, after facing Jenny Greenclaw, but actually the fake Jenny Greenclaw, there wasn't no one else except the Karat guy that was working for Charles Vane. Our people here met the real Jenny, and some of them strike some form of a deal. I got to my player the chance to get fatwas touched. Some of them took it, some of them didn't, and I got the chance to Ember specifically to get the warlock profession. He didn't choose it at the end, but is still kind of paying the price for that, because after our people came back to what seems to be like the real world and found the corpse of the Karat killed by the real Jenny Greenclaw, and actually understanding that it's been a week since they met the witch hag, the swamp hag to be precise. Ember started to feel uncomfortable at the beginning, and the symbol that he has on the back of his neck started to change in shape and forms, like there was some entity fighting against each other to gain his soul. And he started to scream, and that's exactly where we left off. So I'm going to ask the rest of the players at the table to tell me what they do before me and Ember are going to have an interesting one-on-one conversation between him and someone on the other side. So, please, guys, you have the scene.
Well, if he starts aching and screaming and stuff, I just move away. It's something that might hurt me. I just moved away.
Mm-hmm. So you take a couple of
I
steps back.
wanna rush towards Amber to see what's going on and if I can help in any way. At least to calm him down a little bit.
Before I gave you the result of your action. Isa, what are you doing?
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking about going there and seeing what's wrong, what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sounds good. So, the two of you get closer. An Ember body get rigid. Immediately, like he is almost paralyzed. His eyes are open, his mouth is gape open, and is not moving. And he's really, really hot. His body seems feverish. And when you guys try to touch him, you almost, like the feeling of you're touching like a very hot jug of water.
That's why they call me Ember.
And in all of this, of course, you started to worry. You started to think, what's going to happen next? What's happening to him? And I'm going to ask you to mute yourself. And Ember, it's going to be just me and you for now. To be precise.
So we don't listen and we don't speak.
You don't speak, you can listen, but you don't speak. Just because, any reaction or anything you guys are willing to say, maybe can distract him to what is a real purpose there. And I don't want distraction, I want focus. Ember, it was nothing. Just a little bit of strange feelings on the back of your neck. And that's the pain came. And it was pretty much unbearable. It was feeling like your skin was burning. And of course, you started to cry, to scream and to screech out loud because it was too much. And you lost consciousness. Or at least, that's what your brain tells you. And you start to look around. Because strangely, you're still conscious some way. You got a moment of black. And you just blink a couple of times and you are now awakened and there's no pain. And you started to look around. The first question is, where the hell I am? The ground under your feet seems like you're in a forest, but is very lustrous. There is a lot of strange plant that you've never seen before. The grass is multicolored. It's not a classic green, but there is a lot of strange mixture and shade of purple and orange. And it's not just by the flowers, and some of them look like dandelion or maybe other variation of it. And there's definitely not an Ingetirian kind of plant, but also because the plant itself are not just green, they are with those all strange shapes and colors. And the thing is, you're used to the fact that you're a small guy, so trees are big, but not this big. Each one of them is the size of a building. And
Okay.
the weirdest part is, you see the sky on top of you, and it's moving?
What do you mean moving?
Almost like, when the clouds are moving faster and give you that kind of movement, especially in videos that are, pushed very fast, so nothing stays still. I give you that kind of vibe in terms of movement, but also almost like it's the surface of water that is being touched and mixed, and the ripples are keep changing like currents. And if you weren't for the fact that you are not completely sure where you are, it almost seems like that the sea is on top of you, like the surface of waves that keep moving, but you are upside down for your point of view compared to it. The thing is,
Yeah, I was thinking that.
everything is, If there is something upside down, is the sea up there. If you can call it like that. A crack of thunder and lightning break your concentration. You didn't hear it. You didn't hear nothing until this point. Everything was very quiet. And you see one red eye opening in the sky. And is the size of something so big, so thunderous, so immense. And is followed by another. Like flame catching up into the darkness. And when the fifth one opened, the entire world around you seems to move. Then you realize it's not the world. It's not the trees, it's not a plant, it's just shadow. The shadow of something so big that just seems almost to shake everything around it. And you know that those 5 flaming eyes are watching you.
I wave at them, like, hello!
There's no words. Only a feeling. You know when a father is disappointed and the son can tell. And that's what you got. Disappointment. Not even anger.
Granny?
And as soon as you say that, another thunder. No. The answer in your mind is, there's no granny here. There's no auntie. Jenny Greenclaw is not here.
Hi. I'm Ember. Who am I talking to?
The coin in your pocket started to get warm.
Yeah, okay. Talor?
Get even warmer.
Hi.
All of a sudden, something heavy just pretty much land on the side. You feel the shake of hurt quaking. And you, with the corner of your eyes, you don't see what caused it. But you perceive 3, 4, probably 10 tree just crashing down on the soil. The figure started almost like a shadow taking shape. You see shoulder. Maybe too many more. Not just one deltoids, not just 2, but like 3, 4. Like this thing has multiple limbs. You don't see the rest, it's too big to focus on just one detail. And now those horns that grow from the side of the silhouette, you can start to see them almost bending up and create what it looks like a crown. Another lightning and the crack of thunder in the distance. And just for a moment, the whole silhouette seems quite there, almost solid. This massive chest of a humanoid, those 4 big arms covered with scales, and the shape of the head. Yes, this is definitely human, but is that something like a draconic figure? But there was just a glimpse. And you feel it. Destiny. Destiny. Yeah. Talor. Gods of fate and luck. A being that someone think is a fatwa, some other think is a disgraced god. That faced and fought against the 3 main goddesses of the sea and lost. He's there. And he's expressing his wrath over Ember and his reckless pact with a magical entity that now is trying to claim his soul. The discussion, if you want to call it like that, is aided, leaving players uneasy, even if they are not completely aware of what's going on, but something something is clear in their mind. You don't upset a god, no matter how higher he's in the hierarchy. Humbled by the whole thing's, Ember expresses gratitude and decided to leave everything Jenny gave to him behind. He didn't expect Talor to get involved. He didn't expect him to care, but that's what happened. So they found themselves back into the woods in front of the fake corpse, actually the real corpse, but the fake Jenny. And the situation is a little bit complicated between the player. A lot is at stake, and they are not completely sure if they can trust each other. Strangely, Sir Quackalot is still there. Maybe Talor decided to give it to him just in the end, or maybe Jenny is still lingering. We'll see. Anyway, they need to discuss. They need to discuss what's going on. They need to discuss what's gonna happen next. And one of the things that make them pause and etc. is like, how can we completely trust each other if we don't tell each other what actually is going on? And suspicions among them start to rise, especially because someone started to mention that John is not using even his real name. They heard him being called Jean by the Fredicarian people, so their intention is not to move in until everything is cleared. So Jean need to tell the truth, especially because what's happening into the cabin and what's happened under Riska's hands shocked some of them a little bit. So reluctantly, Jean started to reveal a part of his past. He was once a revolutionary in Frediker called Jean Lyon. He fought for the White Flower, the Front of Liberation from the Husk. He fought to free the Husk, and apparently he was betrayed. Someone didn't betray directly him, but it betrayed his unity, his commandos, let's call it that. They thought he was dead, and now he's in hiding. And he's trying to start over, but his past seems to catching up with him, because those people that were knowing Jean are there, and he wants to find a solution to help the Husk but not getting involved with the same company anymore. While most of the team grapples with this revelation, Ember remains a little bit distrustful, urging them to press on the town because that doesn't explain everything. But they need to move on. They don't know what's happened. It's been a week and they don't know exactly what's expecting them there. As they approach, they hear laughter, they hear music, and they are a little bit relaxed by it, but at the same time a little bit worried. And unknowingly, and let me tell you, I asked to roll perception, but they didn't even, there was a blind like moles. Unknowingly, they cross a threshold, marked by pebbles, early collected by the Husk in the weeks before. They remember the things that they were like asking, what the heck are they doing? And those pebbles are being put around the town in a specific shape. And the moment they step over, their mind is hit by some kind of oblivion spell, erasing their worries, not their memory, just making them compliant, happy, without a worry in the world. Everyone falls under his influence, and let me tell you, the player got mad. It's like, the freaking pebbles? They were there all along and we didn't even see them. And you told us many times. And Ember started to think of us like, I even use them. I collect them around and etc. because I wanted to use it as a little bullet for my slingshot. And yeah, we're there just in plain sight. But as I said, everyone seems to fall under his influence, the influence of the spell. Except Hazel. She may remain unaffected, watching as her companion lose themselves to the spells, and they start to act like children. There is the festival going on. They want apples, they want candies, they want to play and have laugh. What will she do next? How they can recover how they can save the town in this way. The stakes are higher than ever. Deals with dark entities, divine anger, lost memories, and a past that refused to stay buried. All collide in a tangled web of intrigue. And that's not it. The question is what lies ahead from the team. Can they uncover the truth before it's too late? Or the shadow of Rockhill will consume them? Yeah, there is more. And the thing is, unfortunately, Hazel is the only one that seems to have a little bit of a mind of her own that, just able to face the problem. So she decided to bring them to the tavern, where everything seems okay. Bob is taking care of the place, everything is closed. They don't seem to have even noticed the fact that they were missing. They're being just welcomed like with a just simple, "Oh, you're back. Yeah, come in." Apparently the tavern is closed because, of course, Zing is taking care of the festival. So the group decided to take a shower, clean themselves, and in the meantime, Isa, all by herself, decided to face Cervantes. Because thanks to a very, very good critical role on an arcane, she understands what exactly is going on. In her unique position of power and burden, she had to make some difficult decisions. She stepped towards the tent of Cervantes, and she finds that a lot of people are visiting. The festival is going on, and everything seems to be happy and complied. Just with not a care in the world. And that's happening. As soon as Cervantes see her, something seems to change in the man. Multiple times Cervantes showed this ability to smell something. His sense of smell seems to be very high, and on Hazel he starts to smell fatuous, and seems to welcome Hazel with eyes full of hope. And that's the moment where he finally drops his facade, and Cervantes reveals his true motivation. He's doing this to kill Jenny and Faduas for personal revenge. He come from Calgary, it's true. Everything he said so far is true. What he didn't say, then he came from a very, very tragic past. The War of the Coin left his country in disarray. Horrible Fatuas from the dark side of them started to invade and destroy and kill. And he saw multiple people die in front of his eyes, as his own family die by the hand of those creatures, and he wants them dead. He tried once before, around 10 years ago, but the person that he hired at the time to help him failed and got cursed. To remind you of something, the personal story of Xing's brother. So he waited to find another chance to get stronger, and he finally got it when Charles Vane wanted to do his plan and rob the town of the money that they getting from the festival. In the meantime, then Eleonora was trying to go for a personal vendetta against some of the people in town. Everything seems to fell into place. What he needed was a group of people willing to delay Bane and at the same time get closer and closer to the real Jenny Greenclaw, so he can strike at the right time and kill her, and not just kill her, stole her powers. He was using them all along, as pawn in his plan, and he offered to help to free the group and destroy Jenny. But of course, this comes with a cost, leading him in his final step, but knowing that doing so, they will condemn others. Hazel doesn't sure without the rest of the team. She can't make a decision. Can they trust him, or they need and give into the manipulation of play, or they need to do something else? The situation grows even more complex as the player are left with a choice that will shape the future of Rockhill, its inhabitants. The tension between vengeance and survival, morality, manipulation will guide them to the next phase of this journey. The appearance of Cervantes as a calculating and vengeful figure rather than a bumbling fool shifted the dynamics, making it clear that the stakes are higher than ever. The players now facing a critical turning point, align themselves with a man who may offer the power they need, but at the cost of their integrity and the lives of many. Meanwhile, the looming presence of Jenny Greenclaw, the husk slaves, and the growing mystery of the pebbles remain partially unresolved. They started to get to all the clue, but they don't know how this thing works. They understand that to keep the spell on, Cervantes needed to use the husk in some way. But how? And what's happening if you remove the pebbles from the ground? Is that something that will destroy the whole thing? Maybe, maybe not. Of course, there is another problem. Charles Vane and Eleonora. They don't want other people snooping around in their business. That plan seems to actually, working. Thanks to Cervantes' spell, this town doesn't even notice if people start to go missing. And who cares about money when you can have fun? So as they try to prepare for the next phase, Hazel whacked them back to their old self. Unreluctantly, because she figured out the only way to make sure that they are back into themselves is to, make them bleed. And there is where we left off our last session. And this, guys, was the last recap. From now on, the last 4 episodes will see them making decisions, discussing, fighting, and uncover new, unsuspecting truth. Keep following us, keep watching, and I hope you're having a great time. See you. And that's it for tonight, folks. Thanks again for watching. Hope you like it. If you do, please hit the like and subscribe, and I see you out there. Just a couple notes. The Tales of the Forgotten Sea game system is not ready yet. We are working on it just to improve it and make it better. One day it will be released, and we all can play it together. Thanks again. Be kind to each other, and see you next time.